So what else can we do with astrology? I love to use astrology for guidance and see what the energies are waiting for me in the next week, the next month, or even my next year. And you can do this by plotting what the planets look like right now. And I briefly mentioned this in the previous videos. If you want to check those out, I have a whole playlist of these astrology videos that I've been making. But to recap, you would compare your personal chart with the placement of the planets right now. So it's kind of like the birth chart, the current chart. And you would plot those on top of each other to see what the energies are influencing you for your benefit or for some challenges that may be coming your way, so that you can prepare yourself, especially if you are planning maybe a trip or a presentation or want to see when to launch a next project. So you can plot this out. You can sorry, the camera's shaking. You can compare these two charts and then change the time to see the placement within a week, within a month, a year, just kind of mapping it out to see what the best ideal date would be for, the launch of your business or to go on that trip. Although, I don't like to use that as like a set in stone, because obviously there's so many factors and we really don't know how these current placements, even though they give us an idea, but at the end of the day, you don't know exactly how it's going to show up in your life. But it will kind of prepare you, and if you need to bring some extra tools, then you can it won't be so much of a surprise. So I'll share a little example. I was doing this while I was studying astrology, where I would check my chart for the next day. I would check the placement and how it was going to impact me for the next day. And I told my younger sister, hey, tomorrow I might just, the placement shows that I might not be in the best mood. There might be a couple of challenges. So I'm just gonna, get out of your way kind of thing. And she told me, aren't you kind of putting that already in your mind because you saw it in your chart? So is it really the influences? She's kind of a little bit skeptic on some of the things that I talk about, but she humors me. So she said, what if, by looking at that, you're putting that in your mind and it's not really the influences, it's just that you already implanted that in your mind. So you're going in with that day with that mentality. And that made sense to me. So I'm like, okay, you're right. I'm going to shift my mindset and just, see what happens. And I had a great day, actually. I had a great meeting over the internet, and I had a couple of opportunities and new insights, and I'm like, maybe she was right, and this, all happened during the day. And then when I finally get to my car, someone had keyed my car out of the blue, and I was just a wreck. I was paranoid, and there was so many things that I was just running through my mind, and that is how it showed up in my chart. I just didn't know how it was going to show up during the day, but there was nothing about my mindset. I mean, nobody likes their car getting keyed, and I, during that time, was feeling pretty paranoid about just things in general, and the anxiety was not helping. So now what I do to further add on to my astrology learning and personal learning, self-study, is I like to see the influences at the end of the day. So tonight I'll look at the chart, compare it to the planets, and see how they showed up throughout my day, so that I don't have kind of that mentality going into the day or anything else. Just let it play out, and then at the end of the day, see what planets were highlighting, what things were, where the placements were, what angles were clashing. Because one of the big things that we look at in astrology and in these charts are things called aspects. And that just means the angle between two planets, which can cause harmony, and the planets' energies work together and just help you, run things smoothly, or they clash, and, that's when you see some conflicts. The planets are kind of like pushing each other or not really cooperating. So you look at those things, and that's how I use it. Sometimes I also like to look at the placement of the planets from a period in the past, maybe to see what the influences were when I met someone or when the idea was birthed to do something, and what was around it that was influencing it, and things like that. So there's so much you can do with astrology. That is one of my favorites. Actually, there's a lot that are my favorite, so I can't really narrow it down. But that is a way that it can help you navigate your life, get some guidance, maybe get some clarity. And yeah, if you are interested in seeing or learning how to plot your own chart and compare it, like I mentioned in the last video, I do have a quick workshop, very simple, that I shared my screen and teach you how to plot your personal chart and the chart that's going on in the planets right now, compare the two and see what's going on. And I do a little quick run through of the charts, and it's pretty simple. It's a free website. You just have to be a member of my community site to get that video, along with all the other videos that I share each month. And that is thedreamingyogi.org/community. So I'd love for you to check it out and let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to y'all next week for the next and possibly last astro video. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.